All right, welcome to College Recruiting Unlocked, the game behind the game. I'm your host, Coach Spree, and every week we break down what recruiting is. We pull the curtains back and we dive into what recruiting truly is. And today we have a special treat, right? Now, if you're an athlete or parent, trying to understand the importance of what a solid GPA is and what it means when it comes to recruiting. Just trying to position your athlete where they need to be to give them the best opportunity to generate a high SAT or ACT. Well, this one right here is for you because today's guest didn't just see the need for help in this space. He built it. He built a solution for it. So he's the founder and director academic tutoring and private athletic coaching service, committed to academic and athletic success of student athletes. Austin, thank you, man. Thank you for jumping on with me here today and taking some time today to talk about what you have going on with sports and scholars.
Yeah. Thanks so much for having me. Happy to be here and share a little bit about what we do. And I love what you're doing. And I think we have a real nexus to support student athletes. So yeah.
Awesome, awesome. So look, I love a good origin story. Most people do. So tell us a little bit about how this all came about.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, well, I guess I have to back up a little bit so I can explain that. I was a swimmer and a water polo player my whole life. Played in club and high school. I was recruited to play water polo at Stanford, which is where I chose to attend. And I played water polo there for 3 years and had a great time being a student athlete there. Incredible experience. I'll probably get to share a little bit about that later. But ended up getting injured, had shoulder surgery, and kind of had to medically retire. Wasn't able to complete my full 4 years there. And once I finished playing, I was looking for a job because now I was just a student. And one of my good friends had actually started this little tutoring business on his own, and he had a full schedule of students, and he kind of recommended them to me to tutor as well. And he and I were just kind of doing our own thing, um, and after a little while, I had a full schedule as well, and that's when we decided to make it into a company. And there was really two reasons why we did that. And the first is just, numbers, that there's a ton of public and private schools in the Bay Area and California, Palo Alto area around Stanford. But more importantly, we saw a need in the student athlete community. My friend Mark, he was a football player and a track athlete at Stanford, and I was on the water polo team. And there just isn't, and there still really isn't, much academic support from private companies like myself for student athletes. And so that's really why we founded the company, is to give student athletes the support that they need, because it's a unique population and they need to be served and catered to a little bit differently. And so that's part of what we do in a kind of like our philosophy is I hire current and former student athletes to be my tutors, so that they have that shared understanding of what it takes to balance and to manage both of those huge components of your life. And what we do is we help student athletes learn how to leverage one to support the other. Um, and yeah, that's kind of a little bit about how we got started. So we started up in the Bay Area, and then I moved back down here to Southern California. And so we still have a branch in the Bay Area that I manage, but we also have a branch down here for in-person tutoring. But now with the pervasive use of Zoom and post-COVID, we work with students all over the country now. And Yeah, so we provide academic tutoring. And of course, we don't, I'm not going to turn anyone away if they're not a student athlete. That's, I'm happy to help anyone who needs help. But we're specifically geared to support student athletes. So we do the academic tutoring, we do SAT, ACT, any subject, regular honors, AP, IB, all that stuff. And we also offer like a private consulting service for athletes who are looking to get recruited. I do a little bit of that, similar to kind of what you do as well, Coach. But I also offer what I'm this new consulting service that I'm still kind of toying with on exactly what I want to call it. But it's a detailed executive functioning type of consulting where we really walk with the student and teach them how to be a good student.
Mm.
So we're helping them learn time management. We're helping them learn organization and showing them like really what it takes on a day-to-day basis. So it's not just like we meet with them once a week. It's like we actually check in with them every day.
Oh, that's
Um,
nice.
and we're following up with them. Hey, what were you assigned today for homework? Hey, did you study for that test that we talked about? Did you reach out to your teacher to tell them you're going to be missing class because you have a tournament coming up? All of those types of details.
Nice, nice. Now, the when we start talking about the academic side of things, people throw around the word student athlete very loosely, but there is such a thing, right? There's such a thing. The athlete and the student athlete are two totally separate things. Now, when it comes to recruiting, most people think about the fastest 40 time, how strong is this kid, their highlight reel, the camps you go to. And what's often overlooked is the academic side of things. So, talk a little bit about how much how much weight do grades and test scores really carry when it comes to recruiting.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's huge. It's just so competitive nowadays, especially at the upper division schools, at the Division 1 schools, but even the lower divisions as well. There's just so many people that want to play a sport in college, which is awesome. And I just want to say to people listening, like if you want to play in college, there's a place for you to play in college. It might not be, as elite as you would hope, but there is a place where you can continue your athletics in college. But yeah, the academics is so huge because it's so competitive, and it's really a way to set yourself apart. It's hard enough to set yourself apart athletically, but if you can add that other academic component, it's really gonna change your outlook. With the schools that you're applying to. So you have to consider what it looks like from the school's perspective. They receive, thousands, many schools, tens of thousands of applications, and they're looking for students who are unique to add to their student body that can contribute to their student body in a different way. If they receive applications that all look the same, it's really hard to choose. It's really hard to stand out. But if you have those grades to back up what you can do in the field or in the pool, that goes a long way. Along with that, having varied academic interests is huge. So, for example, everyone wants to be, I don't know, what's a common major that people love to choose,
Right
like
now, it's
um,
kinesiology, man. Everybody wants to.
kinesiology is huge. Sure. So we could take that. So let's say if you're applying to a school and you put on your application, hey, I want to be a kinesiologist. Well, that's great. And maybe that is what you want to be, but you have to understand and look at it strategically. There's thousands of other students that have that exact thing on their application. So you shouldn't put that on your application. Even if it's what you actually want to do, it'd be better to put something else like human biology or some other science something that's related and still along the lines of what you want to do and maybe you'll end up going that way and liking that better, or maybe you'll end up in kinesiology. That's okay too, but you need to find ways to stand out, and your grades are a huge way to do that. And also another thing I would be remiss if I didn't mention, like so few athletes, this is like the long-term perspective that I think is important to remember. Like so few athletes are able to actually play professionally post college.
Mm.
Now the NIL stuff is new and there is a little bit of money to be made now in college and stuff, but um, most most athletes are going to be done after college, and you have to get a job, and you're going to need that degree to get that job. So don't neglect your academics, not just like for recruiting, but for long term of actually like transitioning out of athletics and into the professional world.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's those are things that listeners need to hear and athletes need to hear,
Yeah.
as well. So, you know, let's talk about building the scholar athlete, that routine. And you mentioned it a little there, but there is a routine behind it, and we as athletes, we kind of already understand the athletic side of that routine. But being a student athlete, your routine changes, right? Your routine changes. It definitely changes from high school to college. So talk a little bit about balancing school and sports.
Yeah, this comes natural to some student athletes, but to many it doesn't. And so that's part of what we try to teach, especially with our consulting service, this new one that I was telling you about. But um, because we hire current or former student athletes as our tutors, they have that mentorship component that is present when we're working with a student in say math, because we're able to use those sports analogies. So I think, yeah, balancing is huge. It takes a mentor to really show that student athlete like what that looks like if you don't know or if you haven't seen it. So we'll talk about things like keeping a schedule, keeping to that schedule. We'll talk about like how you organize your notebooks, how you organize what's in your backpack, your process for when you're approaching homework and studying. Like, what do you do first? What do you do second? And how are you strategically choosing those things? For example, when you get home from practice and you're tired and you have like five things to do before academically before tomorrow. One of the things that we teach is like do the hardest thing first because you're going to need that brain power to do it while you have it. Save the easy things for last when you could be a little more tired toward the end of the night right before you need to go to bed. So yeah, balancing it's very difficult. It takes practice. It's a skill. And yeah, we try to help bring student athletes along to get there.
That's awesome. And the one thing that you said I really love is that you take former student athletes to run these programs, and that's where it's at. I mean, people who have been there, not people who study it and then turn around and teach it, people who actually lived it. And that's what we're firm believers in within our company is all of our scouts are former athletes, former coaches. They've been in the thick of things. They've been in recruiting. They understand what it looks like on all different levels. So yeah, I love that part about it for sure. So let's talk about the partnership, man. I'm excited as we're still fresh into this partnership, of course, but I know on our end, we're excited about what we're offering to our athletes and to our families. And the one big hurdle that we always have to get over is getting people to take advantage of these opportunities, right? And talk a little bit about that partnership, kind of what you guys are bringing to the table for our Pro 7 athletes.
Yeah. So what we're doing for Pro 7 athletes is we're doing 35% off individual tutoring. Um, so what that works out to is $50 an hour for tutoring sessions. And this is a huge discount for what we typically charge. So would love to set your athletes up with some of our tutors, get you connected with them. The way the process works is you'll reach out to me. There's a link on your website, I believe, that will go to mine, and you can fill out a contact form. There's also a phone number there you can call me at, but you'll get a hold of me. Tell me you're a Pro 7 athlete, and we'll have an initial conversation where we get to know each other, figure out what are the needs of your student, kind of give me some background information about them, what subjects do they need support in. And after I get that initial intake, then I will reach out to my tutors and see who I have available that can meet with you at the times that your student athlete is available. And then I'll reach back out to you and get you connected with them, and then you'll be off and running from there. So yeah, we can do the individual tutoring, just like I mentioned. We can do the test prep if people need that. And we also have that specialized consulting service that I'm offering for students who want to really learn how to, yeah, better executive functioning skills, organization, time management, and really teaching them how to teach themselves
Mm.
to, yeah, become better student athletes.
I
Uh,
love that. I absolutely love that. And I love our partnership. And I want to say thank you for even stepping into the circle of our partnership and giving that
yeah.
to our athletes. We appreciate that. So Awesome. What we normally do around this time is we do gym drops, right? It's just actionable tips that our listeners, our families, our athletes can take with them in recruiting to help them set themselves up for success. And this show is like no other. We're going to drop some gems today again. So we'll drop three gems, three actionable tips that athletes and their families can take with them in recruiting. Number one, tip number one. Coaches recruit confidence, not confusion. Have your information readily available so college coaches can evaluate you. Build yourself a recruitable profile where college coaches can go through it and find out exactly who they are, right? And what they're possibly getting by doing so. Gym number two, exposure without a plan is just noise. It really is. You can go and chase as many camps as you want to, and go to as many AAU tournaments that you want to. But if you're not that top tier athlete, it doesn't say you can't compete at the next level. It just says you don't have a strategy, you don't have a plan in place. So exposure without a plan is meaningless. Develop a plan in your recruiting and execute that plan. Gym number three is start early. There's a myth out there, and I just hope that I can crush that myth of waiting till a college coach can speak to me. That summer going into my junior year, that's when I should start recruiting. Well, you're a little late. You are a little late at that point in time, especially with the transfer portal now and NIL. It's pushing high school athletes to the back burner. Start early. Start your freshman year. Start your eighth grade year. It doesn't mean that you have to have conversations with college coaches, but start building your plan. Start building your profile. Start taking these things to get ready for when coaches are open and willing to have conversations with you. So that's the three gems for today. Hope that they can help you in your recruiting. So look, big shout out, Austin. Appreciate you taking time out of your day to jump on a call with me. And again, thank you for the partnership and what you're doing for our Pro 7 athletes, as well. So thank you for that. Now, look, check out what Austin has going at sportsandscholars.com. That's sports, the letter N, scholars.com, and see how they're helping families across the country. And remember, success in recruiting doesn't just come from talent. It just doesn't come from talent alone. It comes from a balance of structure and strong belief in your plan. This has been College Recruiting Unlocked, the game behind the game. I'm Coach Spree. Stay locked in, stay balanced, and keep giving your best. Belief plus execution will always equal success. Take care, Austin.
Thanks.
All right.